Alright, hi guys. Happy Monday. So, I feel really bad about this morning, about giving everybody a pop quiz the second I woke up. I felt like the teacher that everybody hated in school. So I don't want to be like that, but that's the best way for us to learn, and you guys did amazing. It was very simple, a five question pop quiz. You guys did incredible. And I literally felt like the teacher that everybody hated and loathed because they got a pop quiz. So, but you guys did amazing. You guys were awesome. So today I just want to kind of go over a little bit of the history of the board. So, does anybody know any of the history of the board? How old it actually is? So, the board itself, some people say that it goes back to ancient Egypt, which there are different boards. There are different boards on that side of the world, but not William Fold or Elijah Bond. So, this is a model, and this is actually a really nice one. So it was patented February 10th of 1891 in Massachusetts. So it all kind of stemmed from the Fox sisters, and those are two sisters that would use, they were in New York. They would do the wrappings, and then they would have people come, and they would do table wrappings, which is like tap, 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 tap. So that's kind of where it began. A lot of people think that it is older. Sure, it might be. Ouija is only a brand name. It's a name, brand. So it's just like Kleenex, Louis Vuitton, Chanel. Sorry, going back to my days of when I was 18 and had 12 credit cards. So it's just a brand name. So they have many different. So Ouija is really an umbrella term for spirit board, angel board, witch board, psychic board, every single type of board out there. So it's just an umbrella term. So really, when I say Ouija pop, I can't personally patent that because Ouija has already been patented by Hasbro, so can't do it. But we can use spirit board that's not patented. So a lot of people do use spirit board. Nemesis Now, my favorite board ever, is spirit board. So a lot of them are different. You have the Egyptian luck board, you have the Swami board, you have many. So they do go back quite a bit. They are about 127 years old. Ouija. 128? I'm not sure. It's either 126 to 128 years old is how old the board is right now. Ouija. So not, going back to Egyptian times where they used boards. We don't know for sure. The only proof that we have is for the Ouija is the Talking Board Historical Society, which is an amazing resource. You have a wealth of information on exactly the boards, how they evolved, how they have evolved, and it's just incredible. An incredible website that you guys will love. So it's Talking Board Historical, museumoftalkingboards.com, and it is run by Robert Murch, who is the Ouija King or Queen. Love you, Robert. Love you, Murch. You're amazing. So, this is a replica of the actual design of the board. So, that is what it looked like. That is what it originally looked like. That's your planchette. It was to point. So, it never had the hole, the eyepiece. So this is actually, the top one is actually what is on Elijah Bond's grave, which I think is amazing. So you can see there's figure 2, figure 1. It was patented February 10th of 1891. There's the planchette, the original model. And then we have another design down here. So we have Kennard, and we have Elijah Bond. So that's figure 5. So these, I don't know where these come from. My sister got me this, and I love it. It needs to be framed. It is amazing. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so it has witnesses. I don't know who these witnesses are. H.R. Walton, inventor Elijah J. Bond, and then his attorney is down there too. So it's just really cool. Number model, number 446,054. And Elijah Bond, E.J. Bond, toy or game. That is what it was originally patented for. Toy or game. And then we go down to the figure of the planchette, which planchette in French means little plank. So it is a small little plank, usually made of wood. And sadly, I sold my big wood one, so it was some tough times, and it really brought some good money and helped my family. So yeah, this is patented on February 10th of 1891. So that is really when the Ouija really started to get going. And you can see at the very bottom of that board, there's two little people, a man and a woman shaking hands goodbye. So really everything on this is very incredible. So I'm very blessed to have this. Very, very blessed to have that. I love that thing. So a lot of people think, that the Ouija, they used, a board and it spelled out, what does Ouija mean? And it said luck board. That's not what Ouija means. Ouija means, it means yes. It means yes and yes. Oui and ja. Oui in French is yes, and ja would be yes, yes, or yes and no. I'm not sure. But that's the basic platform of where the Ouija came from. So there's many, many, many boards dating back into China, or dating way further back than just Ouija, the brand Ouija. And you obviously can see Ouija everywhere. Okay, so a little bit of history. This is from the Museum of Talking Boards, and this. I love this. I love this pure, correct, and accurate information. This is always updated, so always make sure that you check out. If you get a board and you're curious, is this a real board? Is this a board from what era, what year? You will be able to find that on the Talking Board Historical Society. And Mr. Murch, who is amazing, he is always helping everybody that he possibly can. So he goes far out of his way to help everybody. And he is one amazing person. So, quote, this is just a little excerpt of, from the Museum of Talking Boards. So, in the year of 1848, something unusual happened in Hydesville, which is New York. A New York cabin. Two sisters, Margaret and Kate Fox. You all know about the Fox sisters. I know you do. So they contacted the spirit of a dead peddler and became instant celebrities and sparked a national obsession that spread all across the United States and Europe. That was the birth of modern spiritualism. So we get our modern spiritualism movement from the Fox sisters. So thank you. Wherever you guys are, ladies, you are amazing. So there were a lot of hoaxes, going on behind the scenes, and then there weren't. So it was kind of like a mix. Not sure. Not 100% sure. So, okay, the whole world, it seemed, was ripe for communication with the dead. Spiritualist churches sprang up everywhere, and persons with a special gift or pipeline to the other side, which we all have, all of you have that special gift. So don't let anybody tell you any different, because they're lying. You have that gift. You have it in you. Very true. So, okay, so it was really in demand. I mean, it was amazingly just supply and demand when that came out, when the Fox sisters started the spiritualist movement. So these unique individuals designated mediums because they acted as intermediaries between spirits and humans. Invented a variety of interesting ways to communicate with the spirit world. Table turning, tilting or tipping, which is where you all have your hands on the table, and it will move, and I think it has to do with PK, mental telepathy of a group. So I really do. My own father has had that experience. They were all sitting at the table. They didn't realize it, that the table was lifted at least 4 freaking inches off of the ground. And then all of a sudden it just went, it dropped. So that is his story. That is my own dad's story. And he doesn't get freaked out. He doesn't believe in any of this stuff. He thinks it's all bullshit. But that got him the table. So I've never tried it personally. I don't want to. I don't feel like it's something that would benefit me. I think it'd be more fun. And I think it would probably be a parlor trick. Sadly. But there are great people out there that actually do this. Table tipping. And I don't know any. But I would like to. That'd be amazing. Alright, so. Yes. It was one of these, the table tipping was one of these, mediumistic, spiritualistic things that they did. The Fox sisters, the medium attending sitters would rest their fingers lightly on a table and wait for spiritual contact. Soon the table would tilt and move and knock on the floor to letters called from the alphabet. Entire messages from the spirits were spelled out in this way. So can you imagine sitting with a table, a group of people? Just imagine a dark room, black, with the table, all the people, and then all the mediums in the back, behind the curtains, pulling the strings and all of that stuff. So you can kind of see that in Ouija, the second one, Ouija, Origins of Evil. That kind of shows a little bit about the table tipping, the rapping, all of that. So it does really give a very good history of the board. So, yeah, they would rest their fingers lightly on there. So entire messages from the spirits were spelled out this way. I couldn't imagine, literally, I could not imagine getting messages like that. I think it would be pretty neat to try with a group of people, but I personally would not try it. I just don't have any interest. So yeah, it is a very, very, very amazing type of thing. So you all know that. Okay, so a less noisy technique was born of spirit writing using a small basket with a pencil attached to one end. So that's the automatic writer. Witchboard 2, when they go into Panpipe's magical marketplace, which Feruza Balk owns from the craft, Nancy. He brings out the automatic writer and puts a pen in there. You put your hands on it and the messages get spelled out. So that's another way that you can do that. You can actually take a pen, stick it in the hole of your planchette if you want to pop the little plastic piece out. If not, don't do it. They actually, Brandon Hodge of Mysterious Planchettes, he, I think, makes them. So he's one incredible man. One incredible man, especially in the Ouija world and planchettes. So, with the pencil attached to one end, so the medium simply had to touch the basket, establish contact, and the spirit would take over, writing the message from the great beyond. So the pencil basket evolved into the heart-shaped planchette, or a more sophisticated tool with 2 rotating casters underneath and a pencil at the tip. So forming the third leg, spiritualists immediately discovered that in addition to writing messages, the planchette could perform as a pointer, setting the stage for the talking board to come. Kate Field wrote, quote, Major W wished to be told his wife's name and presented me with a list of 13 names. After 3 attempts, the planchette pointed out the correct one. Unquote. Planchette's Diary, 1868. So according to some writers, the inventor of the planchette was a well-known French medium named... Really? Medium named M. Planchette. This is unlikely considering that there is no information on this individual, if he even exists, and that the French word planchette translates to English as little plank. So that, yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool to have the last name of Planchette. How awesome. Planchette. Hi, I'm Mr. Planchette. I like that. So, yeah, little plank, da-da-da. The problem with table turning was that it took far too long to spell out messages. So you can imagine, they started late in the evening. Well, pretty much, kind of, from what I've read, what I've gathered in my research of spiritualism and the modern spiritual movement and how it, evolved from the Fox sisters. I forget what I was going to say. Completely forget what I was going to say. Probably wasn't that important. So, anyways, don't know. So, yeah, it took way too long for the messages to be spelled out. So, sitters became bored with the novelty of a rocking table. Worse off, and the chore of interpreting knocks began. So, everybody's had that problem from the past, if transcribers. So, okay, sitters became bored when the novelty of a rocking table wore off, and the chore of interpreting knocks began. Planchette writing was often difficult or impossible to read. It was a challenge just keeping the instrument centered on the paper long enough to get a decipherable message. Consequently, many mediums dispense with the spiritual apparatuses, although preferring to transmit from the spirit world mentally in an altered state of consciousness called trance, and that is trance channeling, and that is what I do. That is exactly what I do. So others eliminated the planchette but kept the pencil, finding the hand a more precise and less troublesome writing instrument. There was also those who felt it crucial to use the right equipment if they were going to get to contact the spirit world properly. So, and then it goes on. There's so much history. So these resourceful individuals built weird gadgets and odd-looking table contraptions with moving needles, little wheels. Clearly, these early machines suffered from over-engineering, if not lack of imagination. So, called dial plate instruments or psychographs. A few of these devices found in the marketplace under various names and incarnations. So, that's pretty interesting. So it does. It goes back pretty far. So Ouija does not. The Ouija board is Massachusetts. It evolved in Massachusetts. So by Elijah Bond. And I just think it's amazing. So if you guys are in Massachusetts, you guys can pay your respects to Elijah Bond and thank him for Ouija communication. Because without him, and without William Fuld, we wouldn't have what we have today. It's just very incredible, the history. So Ouija got patented. It got patented, and then it went from William Fuld to Parker Brothers to Hasbro. So, and then there's the UK versions. There's the Japanese versions, which are amazing. There's the so many, literally thousands of board designs out there. So you have a vast array of things to choose from when you are actually shopping for a Ouija. Personally, I like my regular board right there. I love that one. Jesse P. He keeps the traditional image of the traditional board, which I love. So you can check his work out too. On my website, on GoDaddy, Mr. Ouija Spiritual Goods and Curiosities.GoDaddySites.com has Jesse's board, links to everything that he does. He is amazing, and that board was specifically designed for me, and he keeps it traditional. And I also think you can find him, he's on Etsy, Northwestern Curiosities. So he's on Etsy, and he does amazing work with the board. So he's in there keeping the tradition alive, and it's incredible. I have gotten some very odd stuff with that board, but it just, there's so much love that goes into those boards, his boards especially. It's incredible. It is very, very incredible. So I love these people that design the boards. Jesse is, I don't know how he does what he does, but it is incredible. So, and then we have the replicas. So we have the Ouija Queen replica by Cosmo Bryant. Amazing boards. Everybody is keeping certain boards going, and we need to preserve that. We have to preserve that. It's very important to preserve the lineage of Mr. Bond and William Fuld and their original, boards. So I wonder what they think right now of the movement that they have, caused, modern day Ouija and mediumship and spiritualist churches. I would love to go to Lilydale. I would literally move to Lilydale, New York, and literally just set up shop. I would love to live there. I really do. I think that's my place of being. I really do, because this town right here, no, it's too small. It's very closed. It's very Christian, but everybody is very, very nice here. It's just a mask that people wear, niceness. So it's very rare. So, okay, so here we go. So exactly when the alphabet board with the detached message indicator came in to use is unknown, although it would have been early. Quote, on another occasion, what happened to be a visit to a house at which two ladies were staying who worked the planchette on the original method, the attaching to it to a pointer which indicated letters and figures on a card, and our long previous knowledge of whom placed them beyond all suspicion of anything but self-deception. One of them was a firm believer in the reality of her intercourse with the spirit world, and her planchette was constantly at work beneath her hands, its index pointing to successive letters and figures on one card before it. So just as it has been that of a telegraph dial acted on by galvanic communication, unquote. Quarterly Review, October 1871. Spiritualists freely communicated ideas with each other through the specialty magazines and bulletins of the time. LK had this bit of information to share. So, I like this article right here. I really like this article. Ouch. My legs are going numb. So, okay, this is a really good one. So many of your readers may wish to communicate with their spirit friends, but lack even that feeble mediumistic power, which is generally considered the first step to or becoming of mediumistic development, viz., the power to communicate by tipping of the table. But there has been discovered by my wife a method which will enable many persons to get manifestations who could not get tippings of the table. And for those who require tipping the table to point out the letters when the alphabet is called, a method here is offered that will facilitate operations greatly. My wife and myself, having discovered that we conjointly, not singly, we were able to have intercourse with our spirit friends by tippings, found the process very tedious. But soon as we tried the new method, our spirit son exclaimed, "Oh dear Papa and Mama, you have made our work so easy now. The method is this. I have on the table painted letters of the alphabet. Thus, on this table, we place a polished little rod rounded below and pointed on both ends. The upper side is wide for the fingers to rest, putting a little powdered soapstone on it. I never knew that. On this road to the fingers, and of the two persons sitting on the opposite sides are placed, and the rod is allowed to glide from letter to letter. With this little arrangement, we receive messages now faster by writing than by writing. So they actually got messages faster that way than actually writing. I think that's amazing. That is incredible. So, oh, where did I go? Okay. For the edges, okay. Da-da-da. Okay, the table, of course, must have been very smooth. I facilitated operations by putting a little powdered soapstone on it. So, da-da-da, I already read that. If you think this information is useful, your readers are welcome to it. Fraternally yours, LK, American Spiritualist Magazine, December 18th, 1876. So this goes back a long ways for us, this generation, my generation. So, I mean, the Ouija is 126 to 7 years old. Fascinating. It's very fascinating. So, there's just a little bit of history. So, alright, Charles Kennard left the company after 14 months to found Northwestern Toy Company in Chicago, Illinois. His ex-financial partners, headed by powerful Baltimore capitalist Washington Bowie, who was also manager, secretary, and treasurer of Kennard Novelty. Kennard boards are amazing. So, okay, this didn't concern Kennard, who made, at his flagship product, the Volo board, a Ouija replica. Bowie immediately filed suit for patent infringement, forcing the end of the Volo, along with a rather embarrassed apology from Northwestern to the trade. So, unrepentant Charles Kennard continued in real estate and other business ventures, and produced one more talking board, the Igili, in 1897. So many boards are being made, were being made, are still being made. So it's very, very important that you guys know your Ouija history. It's very important. Okay. So yeah, this is all free information from the Chalkboard Historical Society, which I love. So, alright, okay, so perhaps Kennard's sense of enlightenment came from his claim as inventor of the Ouija board. A series of letters to the Baltimore Sun in 1919 hotly discussed the issue. So Kennard wrote that he was the sole inventor, having in legs and a pointer. No, having in 1886, and that was the year of the talking board craze, 1886. Everybody and their mothers, grandmothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, animals had a board. It was crazy, literally. So, alright. Okay, so they put together a crude board using a cake board and a table with 4 legs and a pointer, marking in pencil the alphabet and numerals. Next to his office was a cabinet maker by the name of E.C. Reach, who at Kennard's request made several copies of the board, asked to make them in numbers for market. But Reich refused, complaining of a heavy workload. After shopping the idea around Baltimore and finding no takers, Kennard met Elijah Bond, who made several improvements, including the semicircular alphabet pattern and to the addition of felt cushions on the indicator legs, and had, those improvements patented. Bond then joined with Kennard as manufacturers under the Kennard Novelty Company name. There's a lot of history, you guys. I mean, a lot of history behind the board. So much. So, okay, Washington Bowie disputed Kennard on several counts. He said that the inventor of the Ouija was not Charles Kennard, but Mr. E.C. Reich of Charleston, Maryland. He further stated that Kennard Novelty paid Reich in stock for using his invention without compensation. And this happened. Not once, but twice. Reich being discontented with the first settlement, E.C. Reich's son, W. Mac Reich, backed Washington Bowie and allowed that, though Kennard may have named the Ouija, he did not invent it. It was his opinion that Kennard never entertained the idea of such a device until it was shown to him in the home of Judge Joseph A. Wicks, and hands of a father alone. So it's pretty interesting. So Fold actually asked the board what it meant. So they actually asked what it meant, what to call it. It spelled out Ouija, O-U-I-J-A, and they were told it meant luck, Egyptian luck board. No, it doesn't. So in February of 1927, William Fold climbed to the roof of his Hafford Street factory in Baltimore to supervise the replacement of a flagpole. A support post that he was holding gave way and fell backwards to his death. Yes, very sad. Very, very sad. So following his death, William's children took over and marketed many interesting Ouija versions of their own, including the rare and marvelous Art Deco Electric Mystifying Oracle. In 1996, they retired and sold the business to Parker Brothers. Parker Brothers produced an accurate full reproduction and briefly even made a beautiful Maple Deluxe wooden edition Ouija. You can find those on eBay, and they are expensive. They are very expensive. But probably well worth it if you have that kind of money. I don't. By all means, if you do, go get yourself one. It's gonna storm. So, where'd it go? So, the 1940s saw a virtual cornucopia of artistic and colorful talking boards. Perhaps the most beautiful one were Haskellite's Egyptian-themed mystic boards and the mystic trays. Other major players were two Chicago novelty companies, Giftcraft and Lee Industries. Adorned with everything from wizards to cannibals, these talking boards were wonderful departures for Fold's simple numbered board. Giftcraft's popular Swami featured a flying carpet scene and a genie consulting a crystal ball. Lee's magic marvel, done in eye-catching red and yellow, had 4 turbaned soothsayers, the Zodiac, and a couple of grumpy demons thrown in just for luck. Love them or not, no one called them boring. Pretty interesting. It's pretty freaking interesting. So then in early 1990, after 33 years, Parker Brothers stopped manufacturing the classic Fold Ouija board and switched to a smaller, less detailed, glow-in-the-dark version. So, gone with the fox bird's eye maple in lithograph, and gone was the name William Fold. Although some of us may mourn its passing, we must remember the Parker Brothers' slogan, "It's only a game," isn't it? So today it may be accurate to say that there is a resistance afoot. Hasbro, who currently owns Parker Brothers, upped their game in 2008 by introducing a controversial pink version aimed at teen girls. Then in 2013, they stunned everyone by breaking tradition completely with a redesigned, much darker themed Ouija board, equipped with a light-up planchette that automatically illuminates hidden messages on the board. So, still small by yesterday's Ouija boards standards, it shows at least that imagination is not dead at Hasbro. So there are a lot of other manufacturers that have joined in with the imaginatively styled contemporary talking boards. Online auction sites allow artists who formerly would have not had the opportunity to display and sell their handcrafted creations to a worldwide audience. Talking board enthusiasts are creating websites, sponsoring public shows and events, and connecting with other collectors in an entirely new way. So at this period in time, a wonderful talking board has never been more popular. So, we've got a lot. The original board, shoot, let me get my, there we go. This was the original talking board. That's one of them. I think it's beautiful. I really think it's beautiful. It's very nice, isn't it? That was just one of them. Okay, now the letters with the dowel rod that they would put the soapstone on, that's that. Isn't that crazy? I think it's very crazy. So, and then you guys all know the modern Ouija, which is, everybody has one. That one. So, quite the history in Ouija right now. Quite the history, which I think is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing considering just how much we've got. So that is the history. That is the history of the board. Sorry guys. So yeah, that's your history of the board. I don't know where you can get those replica patented whatever this like basically a blueprint. I'm not sure where you can get these, but I am looking for that planchette. I would love to have that planchette. So everybody already knows about the the glow in the dark one, the planchette that weighs 300 pounds, and no, it's hidden, but that little board. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So yeah, a couple of years ago they actually hung, the plaque for the Ouija in Baltimore, Maryland, where they had a WouijaCon, which everything was incredible. And you can find all this on the Talking Board Historical Society. You can find WouijaCon on the YouTube. You can find it all. Excuse me. And I really recommend that you listen to Karen's speech. She's amazing. She's really amazing. So yeah, that is our basic history of where the board came from. So as you see, it's very old. It was considered to be a novelty tool. Everybody went to church on Sunday. Then Sunday night, everybody would gather around to use the board. So, what does that tell you? Pretty wide range of people that actually use the board. So, I think it's amazing. I really do. think it's pretty amazing. And that was me. That was me when I was little with the board. We would go to church. Well, a couple times. I was never forced to go to church. A couple times, and then we'd come back and we'd use the board. We'd do it as a family sometimes, and sometimes not. But it is very, very neat. Very neat. And, you know, my own heritage coming from Hungary and Romania, European, that is kind of where all the mysticism comes from. So it's a big pot of mixed, you know, everything within the spiritualist community and the movement that is still going on. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool and very interesting. So the original planchettes, they did not have the hole in the middle. They were most sorry guys. So this is the original. It's very big. And then you get your felt planchettes. And this board, this one, right there, that actually has a very weird story to it. I've had it for quite a while. It was my dear friend Pam. She found it at a antique shop, and the lady told her to get it out of there because it was doing stuff was happening. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then here is a replica of the Ouija Queen. See, no hole. Points. So yes, that is a replica of the Ouija Queen, which I do love. I love it. So there are so many different planchettes. So I'm very curious about the, I do like automatic writing. I just don't have the time to sit down and do it. So I think what for our next lesson, let's try some automatic writing from our higher selves, since we are already jumping into contacting our higher selves through the board. So I want you guys to first finish the pop quiz today. I'll check on that. And you guys will get some of my signature Ouija Pop oil, manifestation oil, to have good sessions. So I will be doing that for the patrons that are, you know, currently, all of you that are currently in the Ouija boot camp. This is just incredible. This has been very incredible. So let's try to, let's really try and, what do I want to say? Let's try some automatic writing. So, basically, for automatic writing, which is very easy. Very easy. Let me find if I have even a small piece of paper to write on. You don't even need a board. You don't need a planchette. You don't need anything. Get a piece of paper. Get a pen. Okay. Do our meditation. Do your heart breath. Go into your session with the intent of channeling a message. Dedicate your hand to the chosen deity or ancestor or whomever, guide, whatever you're working with, and ask them, just start doodling, just start going and see what happens. Close your eyes and just start writing and see what comes. I have gotten so much from that. That is actually how I do my my Ouijas, the ones that are being created right now for you guys. That is how I do my boards. They're all channeled. Well, they're inspired by. So the last one was inspired by Witchboard 1986. One is inspired by Stranger Things. The other one is inspired by Mary and Jesus. So I don't discriminate. I create Mary boards, Jesus boards, gay boards, straight boards, doesn't matter. So, my first board was just pure channeled. It was a pure channeled board from my grandma, so it was pretty cool. And the fine woman that got it is getting very good information and messages from it, from my grandma, and I love it. I love it. So she will be there to guide you guys and help you in your Ouija work. So that's our second lesson. Second lesson will be to channel. Just freehand. Piece of paper, pen, pencil, colored pencils. You get creative. Put your all into it. And just let it flow through you. Let that flow through you. So, have we talked to ourselves on the board yet? Have you guys started to try to talk to yourselves on the board yet, your higher selves? It's really cool to actually subconsciously talk to yourself. Consciously talk to yourself. It's very interesting. So, I have to get supplies. The board sold so quickly that I'm gonna have to go get some more supplies to make different boards. So I already have mostly everybody's idea of what kind of board that they want. So I just need Lupe. I need to know what kind of board you want, and then I will be ordering books today. So you guys are gonna all still get the signed copies of the books. And then as far as bracelets go, I'm going to just channel them for you guys. So I already know the colors. This is a channeled one. I already know your guys' colors, what you guys like. So, and they will all be like this. So you guys will get that. Today, I won't be sending anything out until I have my supplies to do your boards. That's what I want to do first, is get your boards done. I have one right now that is actually curing, and that is the Inspired by the Witch board one, and that one is already sold. That's for somebody else, and I know she's gonna watch this video. So, but yeah, just let me know what you want. Let me know your ideas, your thoughts, everything going on in that head of yours, and we will continue. So just put your all into it. Put your all into it, into channeling an amazing piece of art, because you guys can do it. I know you guys can do it. So, alright guys, and then I think tomorrow, I think we'll kind of go into, I did post on Patreon last night my smart drug stack, which is all natural vitamins and supplements. It actually, L-theanine, keeps your brain in alpha wave, which is what happens when we start to go into meditation. So, there's a lot of precursors that you can do to actually amp up your mental capacity, cognitive function, which is important, very important when we Ouija. So, especially when we automatic write, we channel from writing. So yeah, just go with your gut. Always go with your gut. Let your heart's brain decide. So, alright guys, that's pretty much it for today. I've done a lot of talking. So, I hope you guys enjoy just a little bit of history. Thank you to the Talking Board Historical Society for that information. So that source came from the Talking Board Historical Society, Robert Murch. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys are doing. I'm very glad that you guys are happy, that you're learning. That's all that matters. All that matters is that you're learning. So, that's all I have to say for today. I love you all very much, with all my heart, and I am thoroughly enjoying this Ouija boot camp with you all the way from Venus, all the way back down. And I will see you all tomorrow. So yes, let me know below everything that you're experiencing, everything. So, I love you all. very much. And thank you guys. Thank you for being just amazing and being you. So, alright guys, I will see you all tomorrow.